everyone, so welcome to my human design chart. I tried a few different ways to show my face and show my chart and talk about it because this is going to be a season where I talk a lot about human design. And what a better way to introduce you to it all than describe more of who is about to teach you human design using their own chart. And so this is the low-tech setup I came up with. Here's me recording my laptop screen for you all. Orientation to how I'm about to spend the next, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe up to 30 minutes talking. We can go on forever and ever, but I'd love to decipher what this like multi-shape diagram is all about, with all these numbers and glyphs or symbols around it, and how it can provide this insight or be this portal to better understand who you truly are deep down, the way your soul intended to and you are energetically designed to be, and how to flow through life. So I'm going to take a moment to ground, and you're welcome to ground with me. I usually open up the Akashic Records whenever I do a human design reading or astrology reading, or usually a blend of it all within a soul activation and healing session. So just taking a moment with me now to breathe. This is also a way for you to create space to receive just as much as you might be hearing about me and feeling into whether I'm a teacher you feel ready to receive from. I trust that you'll also be able to create space to receive parts of you. I might say something that sparks an idea, a thought, a message from your soul, guides to yourself. So inviting you now to just slow your breathing, just as I'm slowing my talking here. Inhaling in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. Letting your belly draw inward, letting that stretch make space within you. And as you exhale, letting your shoulders relax, your jaw soften, your brow relax, your eyes let go of any stress from your day, letting the stress melt away from the top of your head, down your arms, through all the muscles, through your legs, letting your heels touch the floor or the surface beneath you, whichever way you might be seated and laying down, just feeling that contact, feeling that the earth is bringing forth this energy of support, of love, of validation to your body. And one more, inhale through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. Thank you for receiving. So a bit more about this chart now, if you're in a place to receive. Let me see what stands out. I like to focus on, I'm going to use, and look at this nifty thing that, if you use your mouse, this is on my website. You can generate your chart by clicking here, entering your birth details, including birth time, and then it can give you so much more detail as you're hovering on each of these energy centers and much more down here. But I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to see what intuitively flows through. If I can get this to pop away. All right. And so, I feel called to speak about the sun gate. And what do I mean by gate? All these numbers that you see within the chart are also, if they are in a colored circle, they are defined, is what human design calls it, aka activated by a neutrino stream. And they form these gifts or these energetic filters, aka gates, that show up in your chart. In my case, my conscious sun gates, these are gifts that I am very aware of on the right side in this golden yellow color here. My sun gate is 22. Dot 5 is the line that it expresses through, and we'll see if I want to talk more about that. It may flow as I'm covering the concept of profile, but really understanding that 70% of the neutrino stream, which is, again, think of it as energy from the cosmos coming, hitting our energy body when we were born, or 88 days before, which creates these unconscious gifts to be activated. This is consisting of a large part of the way our energy flows are our sun gates. That's the symbol here and here. And in my case, you'll see this combination of the energy of gate 22 and gate 11. And gate 22, I'm going to pull up my notes so I stay grounded in what I have studied and learned, but also how I have practiced seeing myself. Gate 22 is known as the gate of openness or the gate of grace. And when one has this gate, you're here to bring this receptive, compassionate sense of social timing, to be a leader that puts their gift of actively listening at the forefront of their interactions. There is this beautiful energy of grace. Oh, and look at that. It is, let me turn my screen, 222 as I am recording this. I mean, hi guides. I believe in soul guides or spirit guides that walk with us, and I'm receiving the sign of that. It was not planned at all. So back to this gate 22, I think of it as this energy of grace that envelops everyone and everything around them with this love and acceptance of whatever is happening. And that comes from this energy of listening. I find with this gate that it may feel like, I'm actually wondering how to speak about this, but I guess I have experienced this for sure. And you might, if you have gate 22 activated at any point, doesn't have to be a sun gate, could be anywhere in these numbers on the left or the right, or these colored circled numbers essentially. Gate 22 I find can also lend itself to, oh, but I'm in listening mode and I'm at work and I need to be speaking up more because that's the way that people will hear me. But really the gift of this gate, gate 22, is to be this receptor in some ways. Like people want to have this gift of feeling heard and understood, and that is the gift that comes through with this gate 22. And I have so many chills as I'm seeing that. And I want to share this message for any other gate 22s out there that you don't force yourself to fit into some societal norms or work norms or speak up when you don't feel called to. This is very much because this gate sits in your emotional solar plexus. It is motorized by this, the energy of emotions. That's what charges this gate and allows you to be in the mood to receive. And sometimes you're not in the mood to receive. Sometimes you're in the low of your emotional wave and you need to take time out and receive yourself and be with what's happening with you. I've certainly moved through that multiple times, including not so long ago, and I intentionally took time away to be with my feelings. And that is the gift of not just this gate but this entire channel, because this gate 22, if you can see this in this video, connects to gate 12, which is my unconscious earth gate, a very grounding gate, if you will. And so the combination of these two, where you have 22 that wants to be open and receptive, and gate 12, which resides in the throat center, throat chakra. It's actually my only defined gate and makes me a manifesting generator because I have a motor center connected to my throat. I don't have an indirect or direct connection from another big motor center, which is my sacral, but having a defined throat which is connected to a motor center like the emotional solar plexus is what makes me a manifesting generator, aka charged with all the sacral energy to do what I love to do, as well as work with this energy of my throat that has this pulse around it. And this pulse is very much energized through emotion. Gate 12, coming back to this gate in my throat. Give me a moment here while I take a moment to um, catch a sniffle that wants to come through. Whew. I'm gonna get a glass of water. Pretty glass, saying hi. So, gate 12 is known as the gate of caution, where with this gate, you can be here to share your poetic expression of life's emotional experiences and really want to do so when you're in the mood to do so, and really trusting that pulse, because again, this entire channel, I think of it as this super highway of energy that wants to come through you, is charged through this emotional center. And so when the emotions are like, whether not to look at it as, oh, when I'm in a like, oh, not pausing to collect my words and thoughts here. What I want to say is that it's not just to express emotions that we are comfortable expressing with other people, like, oh, I'm celebrating something and I'm so excited and I want to talk about that. No, this channel also lends itself to sharing, I feel terrible or like emotional, and it's been a rough week, and here's all that's been happening, and that's also charge that wants to move through, and to share it in this beautiful way that truly lends itself to activating. And as a manifesting generator, I very much have this energy of impacting people in a softer, enveloping way, not as much as a manifester who, when their aura open ups and they inform, it's like, poof, all right, you can be pulled into action, but certainly here to create an impact. And so this is important energy to speak about because it's part of like my top four gates. These two numbers, and these two numbers form your what's known as your incarnation cross, aka your life purpose, energetically mapped out by human design. And I've talked about gate 12 and gate 22, but I also want to talk about gate 11 and 47. Gate 11, which is up here in this upside down triangle, or the ajna, and it's your center of mental consciousness. It's very, when this is defined or colored in, you can have a very rigid or fixed way of thinking. Mine is open, even though I have multiple gates that are defined, and so I'm designed to be very fluid when it comes to the way that I think or view the world. And so as it's written over here, I don't have a fixed or consistent way of thinking, which can be flowy, can lead to some tough self-talk at times. But my gate 11 here, which is again a big part of my energy, is the gate of ideas. With this gate, I'm here to, conceptualize lots of ideas, get all these downloads or pings, and it can feel like a lot if you have a gate 11 defined like me, and we all have these gates defined by transits and more, so maybe you'll relate to this energy flow as well. It's like suddenly this flood of ideas coming in, and you're desperately trying to jot it down in like the notes app on your iPhone or in a notebook or a post-it, and then like, okay, how do I organize and set it up such that I can actually like action on these. And so the thing to know with this is, especially since it's expressing through my one line, is like I'm here to record all these ideas and honor the energy of the ideas pouring in, and like research and sit with that energy. It's not this like I have to take all these ideas and run with it. And also it's 111 as I say that, realizing somehow I always look at the 555, but I haven't quite emphasized the 111. I like the playfulness of seeing angel numbers or repeating numbers from a numerology standpoint. So it's also nice to see that in human design chart, and something I appreciate in mine. But I haven't quite appreciated the 111 as much. So thank you for the space to let me flow with that. Um, I'm reflecting on this. This is very much the expression of my channeling gifts. I feel is like a lot comes through this filter, this gate, and um, it is a practice for me to trust that I don't have to action on it right away. I don't have to share it right away, but also not to go down the path of ignoring all the ideas because there are too many or I can't get organized around it or on top of it has been a practice. So this is where doing sometimes these like flowy lives, videos, talks are very helpful because I can be my channeling self, but also can utilize some of my other gates later. Like I have a gate 9, which is all about like being very detail oriented around projects and more. Also, my Saturn gate, love bringing that discipline in. But gate 47, quickly to touch on this as well as big parts of my energy. Gate 47 is also in the Ajna. So much happening in my mental consciousness space. It's always interesting to see, and this is something I recommend to everyone. Like, come back to your reading after a while if you had a recording of a reading or some kind of, written summary of some sort, wherever you may have learned more about your human design, even from my website. Like, come back to it and see what stands out to you that's new. I'm doing a little bit of a deeper read. Like, I find it's hard to get more information around the gates. And also, it's then it takes practice to be able to synthesize and summarize it. What does it mean and what does it imply in the grand scheme of your entire chart? And so for me, gate 47 is the gate of realization. It's this gate which I'm just going to make sure I have my notes as I say all of this, where I'm very much designed to have these like ahas or realizations that are very pivotal in my life. Like, there are these big moments that I will remember, and it requires patience to wait for it because some things are meant to come in their own timing. And um, again, because with this open center, it's easy for me to go into this pressury place of like, I need to think in a certain way, I need to find the answer, I need to have the answer. And not knowing the answer but letting the answer come to me is very grounding for me. And usually the answer, like, again, expresses itself through this very practical solution oriented way. Those with gate 47, you will find that when you have this gate defined, your realizations are so helpful for other people. Like, you are going to be able to almost be a role model or a teacher, especially if you have a 6 line. Like, role modeling through your realizations is probably going to happen because it had such a profound impact on your life. That's how I think about this gate, and that's my energy in a nutshell across these 4 gates. There's clearly, as you can tell from the descriptions I've given around these 2 gates, there's plenty to keep talking about it all. Maybe I'll do a quick light or a light touch on key things that stand out as I run through my gates. With the gate 3 here in my sacral, I'm very much here to bring order to disorder. This was a very profound gate for me to learn about because, and I'm not referencing my notes anymore, so we're gonna free flow. But to me, it's very much bringing this energy of bringing healing to emotional trauma as well in this very practical way is a big part, my North Node. And I'm just looking again for, as I'm sniffling here, and so this gate is part of my north node. This other gate that's part of my north node, which is gate 24, back to my yajna. Now you will really get to know this, is very much this gate of rationalization. Also got this energy of pondering. You're really contemplating something again and again until you're able to distill it to a truth that can be communicated. And I definitely struggle with this because I like to get to the answer. This is similar to gate 47 in some ways, uh, of like waiting for the realization to come, waiting for a rational truth to come. Again, big parts of my energy, and so leaning into my south node are helpful in terms of like, this is energy I have easy access to. Then the north node is much more about the energy I'm headed towards and I would like to express in this lifetime. So um gate 50, gate 50, always like practicing being with the energy of gate 50. I feel like I was meant to spend some time with this gate, so here we go. Gate 50 is the gate of values. It's here in the spleen, the splenic center, which is the seat of our intuition. Gate 50 is all about having strong values around how we take care of each other. It's a very tribal oriented gate. Like, and I really like, I feel this energy in that. Sorry if I shook the camera. It was like so intense. I'm like shaking the camera as I'm talking about gate 50. This energy is very much here to play big and infuse. I'm here to infuse my values, and it has been a constant battle of figuring out, okay, well, everyone in business tends to do this, and it's very like, let's drum up the dopamine and like make this happen right away. And I want to bring softness and flow and like this feminine energy and playful energy to healing and self-healing, at least in the ways that I've practiced. Doesn't mean we do this all alone, but I have so many values around many things in life and still figuring out my voice, my truth. And this is where honoring the journey that has been, these two gates. Plus also I have an open head center and an open root center, and they are white in color. At least undefined root for sure. And so these are centers that can take on pressure. Imagine like other people's energies are trying to like hit from above or from below, and it's easy to like, okay, I need to make this happen, I need to have this answer, I need to go and action on ideas and more, and I need to say something, even though for me to be very aligned with my energy, it's good for me to be listening first. Look at that. So there's more about the channels, by the way. If you hover also on my site, you can read more about it. I think with that, I want to quickly talk about this channel where it's 1034, connecting gate 10 to gate 34, creating the channel of charisma, where if you are really honoring and trusting that you are charismatic, you are magnetic in so many ways. When you embody and trust your values, who you are, that's the energy that people will feel drawn to. And it's really when you bring this energy of self-love, because that's the energy of gate 10, and be a guiding example of self-love to others. That combined with the energy of gate 34, which is, as I'm going back to reading a bit more about the gate of charisma, and not just totally going based off my memory around it, being ready to share more about myself, who I am, doing what I love to do authentically, which inspires others. There's so much of it can feel like self-centered energy almost. This is actually very much true for this channel and this channel, because all of this it's all part of this individual circuitry in your human design. And I'm almost telling myself like, it's okay to talk about yourself, because that's actually so healing for others and can impact others in so many ways. Um, and yet, I have certainly felt the low expressions of this channel, which is a fear of being heard or seen, a fear of being focused on me, and not seeing myself as like just talking about this is going to be interesting or charismatic to other people. So, certainly is that. Another channel I'm going to talk about is channel 26 to 44. Very consulting like energy. Let's see if we can find. 26 is conscious Mars, lots of energy there, and 44 is, can you help me find 44? Oh, there you are. We just talked about within the South Node, so good that we're talking about it. Gate 44 is very much this gate of patterns. Um, there you are. And then I also wanted to talk about another gate. So let me see if I will have time and energy to keep going. Let me take a look here. Yeah, so gate 44. With this gate 44, you have this energy of being able to see patterns. It's a very intuitive skill. Again, back to the splenic center being the seat of your intuition in human design. In that language, yes, but I also believe like intuition shows up in so many different ways in our human design chart. Like we like gate 11, which is this gate of ideas, is also an indicator of intuition. I can start talking so much about intuition, maybe another day for that. Um, and the cool thing about this is you can see the pattern and you can help, say, I see this pattern, and help yourself and other people break unhealthy cycles. I think I've been on a fun roller coaster with this gate for the last couple of years, and I think it's really led me to experience a lot of healing. And I think this is definitely energy I bring to my sessions, my healing sessions, is helping people see their patterns, because we end up doing like parts work, inner child healing. I can see clairvoyantly like a part and how it's showing up as a visual and how the energy shifts across the session. This looks different for every person, so I don't want to anchor you to this is the only way that it will show up, but it's been very cool for me to see that that's the framework that my guides end up using when we are working on a session with someone else's guides. And so your guides may have a slightly different approach and might shift the energy of how this flows. But it's a very cool gate. Gate 44 plus gate 3 is all very much about like bringing order to disorder, breaking patterns. Like they all deal with healing, and it's very it emphasizes for me, part of my north node south node gates here, how important it is to lean into this energy. So can you see why I'm a big fan of how human design has put me on my path? Of course, early on, so many more years and real human experiences to come in this lifetime at least. This is connected to gate 26, which is all about communicating in this receivable way. Like you're able to explain something, a concept, a topic to a 4-year-old or an 80-year-old. You're able to pair people with solutions. And especially for me, with this connected to my fifth line, which is all about bringing practical universal solutions through. I think there's a reason I ended up in consulting for 15 years. Like, I do think this gate definitely got me there. But I also think this gate shows up when I'm I am very known in circles for finding the right tool or thing on, say, like shopping on Amazon somewhere, and here's like this perfect thing to use for travel, or this kind of cool new type of selfie stick. Like, I am that person who has that thing, who has researched a bunch of things and found the best one, optimizing for a bunch of parameters. Still figuring out if that energy wants to express through my soul business Nikki Joshi self. Not sure yet. still figuring that part out. But those are all the gates I wanted to talk about today. There's much more. This was meant to be an exercise for me to reflect on me. And it was also an exercise for you to see how deep we can go in a human design chart. So, if you're intrigued and interested, I highly recommend generating your chart on my website. You can get so much detail about like some of the basics of your chart if you're there. And if you want to go deeper, I recommend going and booking a reading with me. I have openings now at the end of the month, so that's your time to go deep. We'll spend almost 90 minutes going through your chart, channeling from your guides, blending all the modalities you feel called to listen through, and learn more about your true self and clear the clutter of society and other norms you may have had to adhere to over time. We all have been on that journey, and I'm sending you so much love for receiving all of these messages today and taking what lands most with you. Maybe you learned more about a gate or a channel of yours. I'd love to hear. Please let me know.